Good morning and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Curare, your source for the best jobs and job advice on the internet. I'm here today with Dave Whitty. Dave's a founder of the company, been with us for 25 years, and I'm Jerry Ramusek, the CEO. We're going to be answering physicians' questions, mid-levels questions today, and some of our own recruiters' questions today. And we'll dive right in and see what we got this week. I signed a 4-year contract in 2015. My contract expires in 2019. I do not want to continue my career with this practice. When should I start looking for a job? I'll take that one. That's kind of an odd question because you signed a contract last year in 2015, or excuse me, about 2 years ago. Now it's 2017 February already. Time's flying. And you're worried about getting out of your job in 2019. My feeling would be a bit premature for that conversation to even be looking for a job. If you're concerned about 2019 and early 2017, I think perhaps you should maybe start looking at the out clause of your contract and consider starting a job search now, giving your current employer the necessary out time needed in the contract, usually 90 days, maybe 120 days. Whatever that might be, because if you're already considering the fact that you're not going to continue your career there after the contract, it might be a good time to start looking now, depending upon what sort of, if any, financial penalties you have for breaking the contract early. Any advice on that situation?
Well, it doesn't say if it was an employment contract or an income guarantee, so it's kind of hard to really differentiate. If you had signed a 4-year income guarantee, and your productivity is not at the levels that you anticipated, to quit now, you could be incurring pretty significant financial penalties, having to pay back a lot of money. However, if it's an employment agreement, you should be able to get out of it pretty easily. And it also doesn't, why are they looking to make this change? If it's a production issue, maybe that's why you had a 4-year contract. But if it's like a personality thing and you're just not happy working there, then you should really figure out how to get out of there as soon as possible.
And the longer answer, if you're not going to be looking to absolutely make a move till 2019, right now would be premature to start looking. I'd say to start looking at the earliest a year from now, summer of 2018, perhaps start your search early to late spring perhaps of 2018. But either way, there'll be a job out for you whenever you start looking. How should I present myself in my interview materials? What should my CV look like?
Well, this is one we get a lot of questions about. And, we find it interesting that doctors, everybody calls their CVs a CV, when in actuality what we really want is a resume from them. And especially the recruiting that we do is clinical private practice environments. And to be quite honest, the people that we're dealing with don't care about publications, they don't care about poster presentations, they don't care about research. They want to know where you were educated, that you've got a stable history, that you can have the skill set that they need to do the job, and that you're, where you're licensed and board certificate, what certifications you bring to the table. If you go, much beyond that, nobody's even going to look at it. The other thing that doctors never put is a goal on the top of their resume, and that becomes really important because you can't really tell what the person wants to do based on their training. For instance, I recently talked with the surgeon, and she's in a endocrine surgery fellowship, which she took because her husband is doing a fellowship and she needed something to do for a year. She doesn't want to be an endocrine surgeon.
Right.
She wants to be a general surgeon who can do some endocrine surgery. But every place that, up until before she talked to me, people looked at her as though she wants to be an endocrine surgeon, and they all turned her down. So now she's starting from scratch. And one of the things that I'm working with her on is how to present herself so that people realize she wants to do general surgery. And I think there's more, this happens a lot more than people realize. And so it becomes really important, when you have that CV, to put something on there that really spells out what you're looking to do. Otherwise, it's just going to get flipped around if they don't see exactly what they're looking for.
Especially in the highly competitive areas, they're looking at a lot of CVs, and in your case is a great example, because if they see that endocrine fellowship compared to several others that are general bread and butter orthopedics, which are really looking for, and which Dave's candidate was really looking to do, she's going to get knocked out of the process just because they're assuming that she's doing the endocrine surgery, and that's what she wants to do, and that could have been alleviated by simply putting a goal on there. It's great advice.
I want to be a general surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
That's all she really had to put on there, and I think, so I feel confident though, we made some changes with her CV and how we're presenting her, and I feel confident that we'll be able to get her a job now. But not if you're listening to this and you're looking at your CV, think about that and put something on there about what you want to do, because it will really go a long way towards you getting the job you actually want.
Thanks. I am an internal medicine resident. I want to make an impact on my community and practice in a place where I can make a difference. Where should I go? That's a good question. You'll have a lot of choices. I mean, throughout America, there's underserved communities in every state, and I think the place to go would be a one hospital town, one hospital community where they recruit physicians because there is a true need. In some of the more competitive areas, you'll see competitors seeking out more physicians to really pump up their numbers and fulfill community needs of intended growth of these high growth communities, like your majorly desirable areas like Chicago, San Francisco, Indianapolis, New York City, the places that are going to continue to grow. There's a lot of competitive forces in work there in regards to different entities that are recruiting physicians, different entities that are employing physicians. And in those cases, you sometimes end up blending in with the crowd, so to say, becoming a number. If you go to one of these smaller communities that are one hospital towns or smaller communities, they'll recruit because there's an absence of your specialty within the community, or because of a pending retirement, or something like that. You're going to be able to move into a busy practice, a busy situation, and have a major impact on the community. To give you an example, my father-in-law was a small-town family physician in Sydney, Ohio, about 40 miles north of Dayton, and he spent his whole career there, and by the time I had met him, he was a true rock star in the community. I mean, he'd go to the county fair and they'd announce his name over the mega speaker, and here, coming in is Dr. Miller and his lovely wife. It was pretty neat to see, especially while I was starting the career as a physician recruiter, because in those communities, you do have a major impact on your patients' lives. They become your friends and your colleagues, and you see them very often, and you're truly needed in your specialty.
And I would say that, in addition to the need, the way you can practice medicine in a small, if you go to a big city multi-specialty practice, the fact is you're going to be treated kind of like a glorified factory worker. I mean, it is conveyor belt medicine, next one in, next one out. And if you're not hitting all of your numbers, there's going to be a 22-year-old CPA knocking on your office door saying, hey, you need to do this. You go to a little smaller community or an FQHC or something where you're there to really take care of the patients, then you're free to be a doctor and do what you were trained to do, and that gets lost in a lot of the bigger city opportunities.
It does. I am an H-1B candidate looking for gastroenterology positions. Where should I look for a job? You got any ideas on this one?
Gastroenterology is pretty high in demand.
I know. I think you could look just about anywhere.
I think there's a lot of jobs for an H-1B gastroenterologist.
Yeah, and it's been my experience, especially in the last 3 to 5 years, with the H-1Bs in particular. Clients have been very receptive to working with H-1B candidates in many locations. I know us in particular, we work with a lot of facilities that are cap exempt as well, so they could transition H-1Bs, they could make the process pretty easy for you, and they're well versed in the process. So give us a call, and we could definitely make a search for you. We could get H-1B gastroenterology opportunities in I'd say almost close to any city in the nation right now.
Yeah. We've got
high demand specialty.
Lots and lots of opportunities. Is that it?
That's it. We got a short one this week, 4 questions, but we'll be back next week with more answers to your questions that you might have about job searches and some excellent new jobs. Do you have anything else you want to add before we take off, Dave?
17's looking like a good year. We got a lot of new jobs. I think that's the main thing that I'd like to emphasize is that, if you're looking for a job, we can help you. There's no doubt about it.
Excellent. Well, give us a call if you're looking for a job or looking for some candidates. Look forward to seeing you next week.